Welcome back to Variologies. I'm Dan Calcagno. Today we're going to look at what the Bible means when it says the heavens will be shaken. What did Jesus mean in Matthew 24 when he said that immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light and the stars will fall from the sky and the powers of the heavens will be shaken? Well, firstly, remember that Jesus is speaking within the context of the destruction of the temple. And think about the temple for a second. It was not just a religious sanctuary. It was a powerhouse of political and religious authority. The priesthood held significant sway over the daily lives and spiritual direction of the people. However, this all came to a head when the temple was destroyed in 70 AD. A moment spoken of in the book of Hebrews when the writer said, God has promised, saying, "Yet once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heaven." So how can we know that this is a reference to the destruction of the temple? Well, look at how this kind of language was used in the prophets in the Hebrew scriptures. Firstly, the Lord said through Haggai, "Once more in a little while I am going to shake the heavens and the earth, the sea also and the dry land." And similarly, the Lord said through Isaiah, "I will make the heavens tremble and the earth will be shaken from its place." If you look at the historical context of these two passages, you'll notice that it's referring to the upheaval of nations, like the fall of Babylon or the return of the Israelites from exile in Babylon. And so I think in Hebrews, this shaking is being reinterpreted to signify the transformative period of the late 60s into 70 AD. As the writer said, the things that are to be shaken, that is, the created things, will be taken away, so that the things that cannot be shaken will remain. Again, this is a reference, I think, to the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple. So on the one hand, Jerusalem and the temple were destroyed, which removed the corrupt Sadducean priesthood from leadership and at least momentarily displaced the Pharisaical leadership. But on the other hand, this was a validation and elevation of Jesus and the apostles, since they were the ones who had warned the nation of the coming judgment. And so now, without the temple and the priesthood, the spiritual temple of Jesus' church and Jesus' spiritual priesthood was all that remained to govern over God's people. So again, the shaking represents the transition from the physical temple and its practices to the new spiritual understanding. Worshiping God in Jesus' kingdom is not limited by geographical or physical boundaries. As Jesus himself said, the time is coming when it will no longer matter whether you worship the Father on this mountain or in Jerusalem. True worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. So in fact, the shaking of the heavens is not just a reference to the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple, but a reference to this transformation, the ushering in of the new era in which we worship in spirit and in truth, anchored not by buildings made of stone, but by our enduring faith in Jesus the Messiah.